Hi, this is Steve Scott, the Houston Business Coach, and thank you for joining me. And today's story, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Often do you hear people talk about how they started something, but very often you don't hear about them finishing. And sometimes they say, well, I didn't have this, I didn't have that, that's how come I didn't finish. Well, back in 1968 at the Mexico City Olympics, there was a marathoner, John Stephen Akhwari from Tanzania. And his country had sent him 5,000 miles to compete in the Olympics. And he was one of the favorites. And the marathon was run, and the runners entered the stadium, and no sign of John Stephen Akhwari. So they started the field events, because everybody had pretty much forgotten about him. And all of a sudden, about 2 hours later, here comes a lone runner, kind of hobbling on one leg, and then crawling. And he comes in, and all of a sudden, everything stops in the stadium, and everybody becomes silent. Then they start applauding because they realize what is happening. And he crosses the finish line. His right leg was bandaged. He had had a very bad fall. And afterwards, the media said, well, how come you just didn't quit? And John Stephen Akhwari said, my country didn't send me 5,000 miles to start something. They sent me here to finish it, and I came to finish. So it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. So he lifted himself up by finishing what he set out to do. Now, here's a second story. It was the 1936 Summer Olympics, and they were held in Berlin, Germany. And Adolf Hitler wanted to prove the superiority of the Aryan race. And the German 4x4 100-meter women's relay team was the world record holder. There was no doubt that they were going to win. And the U.S. was just happy to get in the final heat. And they did make the finals, which is the top 8 teams. And the race started out. And the German women, after the first baton pass at 100 meters, were up by 2 meters, which is a huge, huge distance. On the second baton pass, they're still up by that much. On the third baton pass, they dropped the baton. And the U.S. went on to win the gold medal. So remember, here's a business key to success and a life key to success. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. This is Steve Scott, the Houston Business Coach, and thank you for joining me.